Hello everybody! Welcome back to the 7th video in our first unit on EDA. The purpose of this video is to introduce how to write functions in Python, and the function we write in this video is going to be a culmination of some of the tasks that we had been solving in the previous videos. If you're already super comfortable with functions in Python, just use this as a refresher, or if this is your first time ever coding in Python, use this video as an introduction to the syntax of writing functions. So our task for this video is to write a function getSub, which takes as input a NumPy array ARR and an integer n, and as output returns the subarray of ARR containing all rows with at least 2 entries equal to n. So this should be really similar from our previous video where instead of having just general n, we used n equal to 2. So to get started, I've imported NumPy, and the basic syntax for writing a function is we start with the word def for definition, and then we type the name of our function. So in this case, I want to name it getSub, and then round parentheses, and as an argument, I pass exactly what the arguments of my function should be, separated by commas. So in this case, I want ARR as an input, and I also want an integer n, so I separate them by a comma, and then I place a colon. What's going to happen is if I press return, notice it gets indented automatically. So if I want something to be executed within my function, it has to be within this indented block. So don't mess with this, it should do it for you. If you mess up the indexing or the indenting, kind of go back, what I sometimes do is you can delete this line and then press return again. So it should indent it for you automatically. You shouldn't have to mess with that. But okay. Hopefully this problem is familiar. First thing we're going to do is, let's say, ask where is ARR equal to n? And then what we want to do, so remember we're tasked with, we want all rows with at least 2 entries equal to n. So I want to say let's take the sum along axis equals 1. So let's get the counts of how many elements in each row are equal to n. So I'll call this counts. Then what I'll do is I'll get the subarray. So I can say subarray, let's maybe call it like this, and we do ARR, and we ask, well, where is counts greater than or equal to 2? Now, if I were to just run this cell right now, so there's no error, so that's fine, but what's happening is nothing gets returned, right? So here I've defined subarray. I could just type return in this line and not even define subarray, but just to kind of show you, we could do return, and I want to return subarray. So no error, this is looking good so far. And now let's just test it with a couple of examples. So I'm going to make a much bigger array than what we were working with in the previous videos. So I'm going to say RNG is np.default underscore RNG. Let's again use seed equal to 100. And let's say ARR equals RNG.integers between 0 and 5, but now for the size, let's make it 100 by 3. And let's see, default underscore, oops, what am I missing here? I'm not random, right? Very good. I probably should have left that mistake in, but it's okay. And let's see, now let's take a look at ARR. So here it is, 100 rows, very big array. Let's try our function on it. So let's say, let's do get sub ARR, comma 5, and you could probably guess, so based off of how ARR is coded. And all right, so remember we're doing random integers between 0 and 5, but 5 is not included, right? So if I ask how many rows have at least 2 elements equal to 5, this should return an empty array. So we can see here, empty array, but we could do the same thing now, but let's try it with 4. So let's do get sub ARR, comma 4. And we can see here, these are all of the rows where at least 2 elements are equal to 4. So one thing that you could do for practice is you could try to write the same function, but using a for loop instead. So a for loop in this case is definitely worse. The one that we have here is going to be better than a for loop, but it would be good practice, especially if you're still getting used to syntax of Python. All right, I think this is a good place to end the video. Thank you for watching.